If you're trying to avoid any Ringed City spoilers, I would go ahead and just kill me. Just cut the video off. Just turn it off right now, because there's spoilers ahead. Ringed City spoilers. For the rest of you, look at this. How beautiful is this? We ditched the black. We're all in blue. The Poise Wizard has found the Aquamarine Dagger. Welcome back to Stream of Consciousness Invasions, everybody. On my first playthrough of the Ringed City, I found the Aquamarine Dagger, and that character really had no use for it, but immediately I knew that I had to get that to my Poise Wizard. So, Poise Wizard has gone and gotten the Aquamarine Dagger. Still using the Moonlight Greatsword. Lost a few points of Poise, but we also got rid of the dark magics, and we're all pretty and blue and sparkly now. The Aquamarine Dagger obviously has a dagger moveset, but transformed, it's almost like a Bloodborne weapon. It has like moves for every button, so I love the thing. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I talked about making some changes to the character. We'll go over those during this invasion. I made sure that the host wasn't around and that we would have a minute to ourselves. Just you and I, dear viewer. There's an Ember over here. Did you guys know that? Once I spot Alexander, or I realize that Alexander hasn't taken the plunge, so to speak, what we've done is we've knocked a few points off of Vitality, bumped up Intelligence, bumped up Vigor just a tad. We bumped up Dexterity just a couple points so that we could use the Aquamarine Dagger. It's got C scaling in Dex and Intelligence, so we're relying on the Intelligence portion. It does decent damage for a dagger. Now, it doesn't appear to have, according to the numbers, it doesn't appear to have the critical modifier that other daggers have. Like, its critical is a plain 100, as opposed to, you know, like 140, like the Mailbreaker and some of the other daggers. Hello, Alexander. I will go ahead and say this. When you start doing these invasions, anytime I do like a new build or I start incorporating something new into a build, it's always really hard to show it off without overusing it or using it when I shouldn't be using it, like kind of forcing myself to use it in situations that it wouldn't really be necessary, if that makes sense. Like, for example, I'm fighting Alexander here, and this is actually a good video. This is a good clip right here because it kind of just shows you how Poise Wizard works. Mainly relying on a greatsword and poise and trades and using spells as sort of utilities that force people to roll. That's Poise Wizard in a nutshell. Aquamarine Dagger brings something totally different to the mix. Farron Dart, Great Farron Dart, is typically what I use to try and finish off a host who's trying to run on me. But Aquamarine Dagger can do that with, it's just an awesome chase down weapon. Also, it's fucking perfect for any roly-poly motherfuckers you run into, or quick steppers. Also great against them. We're about to have a wizard battle here with Chandler. Yeah, Chandler. But right there you see casting spells, forcing them to roll, one-handed R1s, roll catching. If you force them to roll enough, you will eventually get a roll catch. And that's how this character works. The spells are sort of, like, if they're not doing a shit ton of damage, it's no big deal. Ooh, look at the scythe. So, I assumed that was going to be the Wombo combo. It was the Frostbite. Here they go for the Wombo combo, and I do the charged R2 again. Now, if I had stayed here and just continued to roll out instead of that rolling R1, that would have been an excellent trade in my favor. But because I got greedy for that rolling R1, it was all for nothing. But against that scythe moveset, any kind of charged R2 that you can just catch them with and then roll away from it, that's the way to do it. in my opinion. You might have noticed there was an R1, R1, rolling R1 combo there. That's not smart. The rolling R1 is a perfect roll catch for people who just roll once, which is why most of the time when you see people roll out of a two-hit combo, they'll put 2 rolls on it at least. Any more than that, and you're risking blowing stamina. But damn, that charged R2 is beautiful. The Chandler taking it to me. There'll be moments where it looks like I'm in clear control of the fight, and then Chandler just does something to drag me back down. So we've switched to the Aquamarine Dagger, and here's a big problem with it. You saw me just put it and two-hand it. It's because the weapon art doesn't work one-handed, and all you do is buff your staff. You're going to see me do that several times throughout the course of this video because it takes some getting used to. But there is... Oh, look at it. Just beats the shit out of people. It just... It takes some getting used to, though. Two-handing the dagger and remembering to put it in the weapon art instead of just buffing your staff in people's faces, which you'll see me do at least 3 times in this video. But the Aquamarine Dagger, you got a little look at it right there. It's great when people want to stay close and roll. Taking advantage of what I'm assuming is a menu swap there. Back to the dagger. Trying to get the quick kill. See? What'd I tell you? I just buffed my staff on accident because I was trying to use the dagger's transformed moveset. I wish they had a staff that instead of doing like steady chant or anything like that, it'd be cool if they had a staff that just did the weapon art skill, sort of like how certain shields do. Now I'm under the effects of the Undead Hunter Charm, but I can't afford to be super cautious because it looks like the Chandler is out of Estus. So I tried to at least stay in the fight and keep myself alive until I could use an Estus and just finish him off. This invasion, we're joining about halfway through. You see me looking down there, it's because I'm worried the party has headed that direction, and if they have, I'm going to have to meet them at the bonfire. But fortunately, they hadn't. They were coming down this way. There you can see the little Dregmen firing their... Man, I'm hype about doing a lore thing through this fucking... Oh, you guys have no idea. Anyway, that's our Phantom using the pickaxe. Our host using the Onyx Blade. And a blue has been summoned. But I hadn't spotted them yet. Look at the damage on that fucking pickaxe. So the Herald Knight wants in on the fight, and the blue just immediately starts straight sword spamming into the Herald Knight, which is a terrible fucking idea. I can tell you that as a guy who beat the DLC with a sword and board character first. The jump attack from the Herald Knight there squashes the fucking Phantom, leaving just the host. A lot of Phantom lag there, but I mean, guys, is this or is this not? Like somebody get in touch with Sunlight Blade, because that is a top 10 fucking plunge attack. Come on. I'm not saying it's the best ever. I'm just saying it's got to be in the running. It's got to be in the running. I know that was kind of random, but there's no way I'm not putting that in this fucking clip video. You know what I mean? Or not putting that clip in this video. So, like, I think I said this already. It's hard not to force yourself to use a weapon when you're wanting to show it off. I became aware that I wasn't using it, you know, a whole lot. The Aquamarine Dagger I'm talking about, of course. So I decided to just sort of force it for this invasion. I was like, fuck it. I don't care if it's 1v3 or whatever. I'm still going to use the Aquamarine Dagger. I get lucky, and it's just one-on-one. Now, you saw there, I interrupted the hyper armor before it started with the dagger attack, which is fucking awesome. If you're going to fight, see how there we traded? You don't want to do that. You want to do the other thing. Look at the badass slow walk. Are you kidding me? Yeah, if you're fighting a greatsword with a dagger, you want to be hitting them before... You don't want to just walk into their swings and try and attack. You want to be the one that swings first. That way their hyper armor can't get started up. Like that. See how that worked? Beautifully. And there. just get in before hyper armor starts. You have to be the aggressor. Now, a lot of people, they don't like playing against reactive people. They don't like playing reactively, and I understand it's kind of boring if you know, super reactive. The dagger is an awesome answer to that because it allows you to be aggressive. Oh, he went for the Cestus parry. He got R2'd. That was a good read. But I mean, you can just see the thing just chips away at you. It eats you alive. And swapping back and forth between that dagger moveset and that straight sword-ish moveset, it's very reminiscent of Bloodborne. I love this weapon. It's an awesome weapon for a person that likes to play aggressive. And I'm more of an aggressive player. I can play reactively when I have to, but I'll always be a bigger fan of just being outright aggressive. And you can do that with the dagger, which is super fucking cool in the age of the Poisey Greatsword meta. You just have to make sure that if you're playing against a reactive Greatsword user, you're not going in, you're not taking bait. Just the power of magic. It's over so quickly. I'm using 2 spellcasting rings instead of just the one that I used to wear, and I'm also wearing the Ring of Favor +3. So my spells do quite a bit more damage than they did originally, and my intelligence has been bumped up. So while still not the way I'm going to rely on winning, my spells are more dangerous, and it didn't cost me any damage from the Moonlight Greatsword. And being able to switch over to the Aquamarine Dagger provides me with options. This is a really fucking hard invasion. I remember this one. This is probably like, you can see the password summoned over leveled Phantom there. Yeah, I was like, can I win? I don't know. It's so hard. Roll catch. But I found a way. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, after that invasion, I was sure to go on Reddit and talk about how hard it was to invade. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we have a Havel monster. Havel monsters must die. I'm cool with Havel cosplayers. You want to cosplay Havel, that's cool. But if you want to wear some of Havel's armor, that's cool. But look at that. Look at that Karthus curved sword. It's so cute. This person's like, I know the meta. Well, I'm getting ready to smash that fucking meta. Fuck your meta. Yep, Havel. One-handed axe. No poise on that, buddy. Get out poised, Havel. So the Karthus is gone, replaced by the equally meta washing pole. This is you can always tell when you're fighting someone who likes to PvP, but they like to duel. They don't like invasions. This is one such fight. See how they're chugging, just drinking right in my face, and I'm just punishing them for it over and over again. And then when I want to drink, I make sure that I hit them a few times and get them off of me. All right, that's the telltale sign of a duelist. They don't know how to heal in an invasion. Now, I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying if you see that and you're up against a person who's using meta as fuck weapons. Oh, the roll catch. Oh, the dagger. Oh, the fucking staff buff instead of the fucking weapon art. Oh, I love it. It's just so fucking fast, and you can do so much with it. There, you saw me get a little preoccupied with the weapon art, and I get beat up about it. But it doesn't matter. Oh, are you kidding me? You can just, everything's, again, it's a Bloodborne weapon. Everything matters. Every button is important. It's not just R1. The R2s matter. God, it's beautiful. The rolling L2s, the running L2s. There's so much going on with it. I love it. And it didn't hit because she was already dead. But the second R2 on that transformed moveset is a sort of shield get around her. I can't think of a better word for it than that, but it's one of those dagger sort of get around the shield side stabs. I've not been able to test it on anybody because I haven't found anybody who's willing to block 2R2s with a shield. But yeah, oh, this is another easy invasion. Just fucking over. Hell yeah. I just put that in there so you guys would be aware that that can happen. What's weird is if you hit the left side, like you can break through all those huge panes of glass, but if you hit that one particular wall, it kills you. You can hit the other wall and get away just fine. Let's see what we got going on. Oh, we got the Sunbro and the host. Oh, the host is using the Demon's Great Axe. The Sunbro was using the Dragon's Great Axe hammer thing. And they just beat me to the punch. You can see my HUD is off. This is the fight right after I recorded the intro. So I forgot to turn my HUD back on. So we call a quick timeout. Get my HUD turned back on. And time back in. So we got rid of the gold. We're going to cast our homing soul mass. It's basically, it's not a buff, but you treat it like one. This dude just keeping his fucking shield up like a motherfucker. As one would. And it's a Black Knight Great Shield, so you know it's gonna have pretty good fucking resistance. It's gonna be hard to break it. Can't just kick it. But the magic damage chips through enough that it's worth it. You can just keep swinging into it. Just make sure that you're not taking any bait, and he's not trying to wind you up. Oh look, I did that again instead of the weapon art. God damn it. Now that we've chugged and remembered to two-hand the dagger, we can go in here and we can try and start hitting him before he hits us, but as you can see, he went for a weapon art that time, and so there was no breaking the hyper armor on that. He was getting through that. I threw a bomb there because instead of holding down and going directly to my Estus, I pressed down. But we got the drink, we got the weapon two-handed, no more mistakes. Let's go in here and let's fuck this dude up. Now, because he's using the shield, I went for the transformed version. He immediately answers with the weapon art. We easily evade that, get the backstab, 590 damage, and remember, no Hornet Ring on and no critical modifier. That's straight 100 critical damage. 590 is pretty fucking good for that. I'm too slow to R1 right there, and I take an R1 to the head about it. I'm no longer hitting him before he's hitting me, like his hyper armor is starting. He tries to chug right in my face, which means I get a couple hits on him. You remember earlier I said I put a few more points in vigor? Look how important that turns out to be. The green blossom there is because you don't regenerate stamina while you're in the transformed mode with the dagger. While you're doing your cool slow walk, you're not regaining stamina. So green blossoms are a cool way to offset any stamina depletion you're experiencing. Through the shield, he hyper armors through, and look at what just 2 extra points of vigor can mean. But yeah, that's the Aquamarine Dagger, everybody. I love it. If you're a fan of playing aggressively, or you like the Bloodborne kind of weapon movesets, you definitely have to try this thing if you haven't already. It's fucking awesome. Dex and intelligence scaling lets you play aggressively. You'll see me using more of it with Poise Wizard. I'm absolutely sure of it. But that'll do it for us today, and I'll see you guys next time.